please like and subscribe.
Welcome back to another Crypto Bros
and Holly Girl
podcast number 71. Yeah. Right?
Was that whistle because of the heat or because of number 71, Caleb?
71.
Yeah, all the bros minus Holly had to get haircuts this week because it's too hot.
This is so crazy because you guys are overheating and I'm over here basking in lovely weather. Not even kidding. Like for us, 100 degrees is lovely. But at night it gets down to 70. It has been magical for us. Magical.
Nice.
Well, on Sunday, you might need a sweater because it's supposed to be a high of 80 here, which is going to drop 20 degrees in 2 days. So we are ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready for 40s, some 50s.
We are super ready. But before we go any further and we talk about other things that we got going on, let's introduce our guest. We have from Ignite the Chain, we have, I'm gonna butcher the name. I can't even say it. Foliash, is that right?
No, you did butcher it a little bit.
I knew it.
I'm not gonna lie.
Go ahead and introduce yourself. Go ahead and introduce yourself since I can't say it.
Yeah, so thanks guys for having me on today and having the project on. My name's Foliash, not Foliash or whatever you said.
Yeah.
Okay. People generally would just call me Foley, but my official name in real life, I say real life, is Alex, and that's my actual name. So whatever suits you guys best, I'm happy to be called. But
Alex is way easier for me. Way easier.
That's clear.
Yeah. I didn't even realize till I said it, but it was like I was saying fool, and that's not cool. So, yeah, it has been a long day, but we do appreciate you joining us, and we're going to get into your segment where we can talk to you a little bit about your project and what you got going on and things like that. So before we do that, though, we had our first round of our poker league last week. Does anybody want to talk about that?
Okay.
No, nobody wants to talk about it.
I didn't win, so I don't want to talk about it.
Wow.
I came in hot.
You
hot.
did.
Like I was so proud of myself, and then my cards just turned to ugly. Like there was just, and I tried different strategies to try to like. And no, I can't. I just, it was bad.
The algorithm picked a different champion halfway through.
It did. I was the champion for like the first 30, 45 minutes. I was doing great, and then downhill.
Dragon always says that Club GG picks a champion right off the bat, and he said Holly's the champion. She's the chosen one, and it didn't work out that way. But I can't remember who won. Do you guys remember who won the first round?
I can't either. We should move on.
I know Caleb got second.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's great.
yeah, we'll just leave it there. You know, we don't have to talk about it anymore. That's cool.
Who really cares about first place anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah, who really wants to win? It's just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So with that being said, guys, how was your week? What happened in this last week to you guys? Anything interesting besides just survival?
Yeah, the work has been out of control. Well, I mean, like I work late every single day. It was hard enough to be able to take a break for a second to get on this podcast because it's just an ongoing thing. But there's always a light to the end of the tunnel. So hopefully soon.
It's just October, November, somewhere down there.
Yeah, no big deal. But I did want to actually talk about there's a fly. Our giveaway space that we held.
Yes, that was going to be the last thing before we got in the good and the bad, the ugly. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, no, everybody that I've gotten so much great feedback. I've gotten projects saying, hey, can we put a team together so that we can play against, whoever. And so it's been so amazing that tomorrow, or actually when this comes out, we're going to be holding another space. Josh, I don't know if you're available. If not, it's fine.
I'll make it work, Holly, but thanks for asking.
Oh, no. I reach out to you because Bamboo actually is going to be another co-host with us. So I'm super excited that he's going to, because he doesn't ever co-host. He doesn't know how. So I'm really excited about that. But we are actually gonna have Team Mahina against Team BBTF. And then the winner of those two actually are gonna go up against 4 random in the community. And whoever the winner is, they're gonna get tokens of either BBTF or Mahina. So I'm excited. I've been having so much fun with Family Feud, but we are now calling it Crypto Clash.
You know what? I never saw what won in the poll, so it's Crypto Clash. Okay, that's what I voted for, so I'm good with that.
Yeah.
No, it was a lot of fun, Holly, and when we were doing it, and that was the first time I had ever co-hosted anything on a space. So, I tried the emulator thing. It didn't work. Then I was on my phone, but the genuine excitement and just people having a good time was awesome.
And that is literally all it's about, for me at least.
What have we said since day one about this podcast? That's what we want. We want everyone to succeed. We want to have a good time. We want to spread some positivity. And I really thought that space nailed it, especially as we got going. I think they'll get better and better and better every time we do it, but I'm looking forward to it.
Game show host Holly has come out in full force. I have rules. This one is going to be a little more organized than the last one. I've been planning.
I love it
now.
I love organization, so I'm all about that. So
do you have your Price is Right microphone?
Oh my gosh, that's a good idea. I don't. But nobody can see me on a space.
True.
So.
Well, there's rumors out there that sooner than later there's going to be video spaces. So if that happens, you'll have to get that microphone.
I will too. The podcast, has really helped me, but video is actually easier to me than just voice.
I agree.
Don't ask me why. It's just easier. I think because you can see what, how I'm what I really feel. If I'm having fun, you could totally see it. It's ridiculous. So I think it'll help. I'm excited about it.
Well, body language is a lot of conversation, so I think that does help too. So it's going to be fun. So that's going to be. So are we going to do one the following week, or are we just doing it a week early? We're going to do it both weeks.
Yes. So apparently
every day.
Yeah. Everybody's like, your 2 weeks is just too long. You don't want the people to get uninvolved because it's just too separated. I'm like, you guys, do you realize I'm putting up the money for this?
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Holly, you're still undefeated in rock, paper, scissors.
I'm still undefeated in rock, paper, scissors.
Kayla, we weren't going to say anything about that.
I am.
We need her head to fit in that square.
Wow.
That's the only thing. I'm not gonna lie. My face was so hot and I was kind of sweaty because I was so nervous to lose, because I was like, Josh is gonna never let me win.
Never.
So I've got to win. So yes.
Every week we need to bring up a challenger for rock, paper, scissors. Just one person. Can you defeat Holly, and just see what happens? Because someday that's got to go down.
Well, I feel if I beat you guys, not you guys, but the loser should give me something.
I don't think that's how that works. The losers don't give Bob Barker money or prizes.
Yeah, true.
So I don't think that's how that works. But so that we have time for our guests, let's go ahead and get into the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you guys are ready,
let's do it.
Okay, so this week there actually is a lot of good things happening behind the scenes. So we always have a good, we always have a bad, we always have an ugly. Up front, transparent, there is no ugly this week. I'm not going to go with an ugly. We're talking about positivity like we were, and trying to spread that. This week, we're going to skip the ugly because I really honestly didn't think anything fit into that category anyways. And I don't want this to ever turn into forcing something just for the sake of filling one of the lines on it. So the good, this one's going to be a little bit longer because there's more involved, and you guys jump right in here whenever we start talking about it. But so BBTF staking is live. It seemed like it went off without a hitch. Holly, I saw that you posted and you got some rewards. Can you speak on that for just a second? I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, so I don't hold a whole bunch of it, and a lot of my BBTF is in different wallets. But consistently, the rewards that I got, I am happy with, to be honest. I mean, I'm not 100% sure if these are like backlogged, rewards that haven't been sent out in the past and we're getting them all now, or if it's just strictly off of like what's being staked. I'm unsure of that right now, so I don't. But I am happy with each bag and the rewards I got when you put it all together. It's pretty impressive. So
yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't see anybody have any negative feedback or anything like that.
Super simple to use that platform. I mean, like they said, they want, grandma to do it. Grandma can do it. It's really that simple, and it's super fast. Love it. Hands down, awesome.
Which we've talked about in the past is super important too, that everyone's got to be able to use it or it will never get to the level that it needs to get to. So that's one of the things. Our friends over at Diamond Swap, they've got their third project that's launched on their exchange. They, in their first week, they had over $250,000 in their exchange, which it doesn't seem like a huge number, except for the fact that you have to remember it is brand new and no one's ever heard of it before. So it's actually a pretty good volume. I think it put them at number 8 on the platform that they're using. And so it seems like things are moving in the right directions for them. And I'm not going to jump into all the details of it because we have talked about what used to be Crow Swap is now Diamond Swap. We've talked about them for a long, long time and what they had going on. But that had to be listed in the good this week because I do believe there's good things coming from that sooner than later. So also last week, Nobility, they hit our good spot and they got Rio launched and it seems to be going very, very well. I've seen nothing but good reviews on it. I actually was going to try to get in there and play around with it, and this week did not allow that. I'm hoping by next week I'll be able to, but sometimes real life just gets in the way and if you're not able to fit we were talking off camera before we started filming, you can't always fit everything in that you're trying to get fitted into. And that was one of the things this week that just didn't happen. But that is a project that we've had our eye on since day one, something that we have been following, something I've been excited about, and I do want to clarify something. Last week I said they kind of went dark. And I didn't catch a lot of flack about that, but I didn't mean that like they shut off trading. I just meant on the social media aspect of it.
Yes.
Like we didn't hear a whole bunch from them. There wasn't a lot coming out. And on that aspect they did. I was corrected about what their market cap was on social media and stuff. I said, no, that's not what I meant. So just to clarify that, I wasn't trying to be negative by any means. I just meant they were working in the background and that they were actually releasing things and producing things.
So I want to touch on this just for a quick second, and I want to say how amazing that team is. Not only, I try to support as much as I can and retweet people's stuff, different projects and stuff to get them out there. And I had retweeted something from Nobility, and I had 2 of their team members actually be like, you have no idea, Holly, how much it means that you retweeted our stuff. And I was like, what? That's not even a thing. But another thing that really was amazing was, Rick. He's the one that clipped it, our good, and played it. And in there I said, I sold mine. I wish I hadn't, and I kind of touched on that a little bit about me selling too early and all that. And instead of getting attacked by them for selling, the CEO actually said, you know what, Holly, it happens to the best of us. And I mean, it was like no bad blood, no nothing. And that to me is a big deal because you get some projects, you say, oh, I sold, and you know you messed up, but you have people attacking you.
Yeah.
And for it to actually come from the CEO saying, you know what, it happens to all of us, because it does. That was just so awesome to me. It was just like a reassurance that, okay, it's okay to sell your bag if you need to, or, you know, whatever the case may be. As long as you don't go out and FUD it afterwards, they don't, you know, it's no bad blood. So I just really wanted to highlight that, especially.
You know, you're all right, Holly, because I did see that. And as soon as I saw it, you post it, because you're one of the few people that we have, or at least I have, where it tells me every time you post something. I thought, uh-oh, here we go. I'm going to have to put on my big brother hat and defend my sister. And you're right. The CEO actually came out and said, hey, it's no big deal. It happens to the best of us. And there were other people kind of in the same, oh, I remember you back in the day, you know, welcome back, all this sort of stuff. And I thought that was really cool. Like, that was, you don't see that in a lot of communities. And you're right. So after that podcast, I'm going to use this opportunity to kind of promote a future show. They reached out and they said, we would love to come on your show. And I actually don't have the date in front of me, but in 2 weeks, they'll be here.
Yep.
Which
the
is
7th.
The 7th. There you go. I knew it was the first week of September. I can't remember what day, but they're going to be on the show, and they reached out to us. And also have to say congratulations. There was a new member born into the Nobility team as they had a baby, and it's just exciting all the way around. And I just get the feeling we haven't got a chance to really know them yet. I'm hoping that on the 7th we will, but I just get the feeling that we're rooting for good people in this situation. I love to root for good people. So that they had to be listed on that. And then really one last one that we're going to get onto before we do quickly the bad, and like I said, we're going to skip the ugly, is Ignite the Chain. Right? So they had a lot of activity this week, and we're going to get into that interview in a second, but I would be foolish to not at least mention them in the good, because there's a lot of stuff coming out on that. And even though I didn't get to watch the AMA from last night, I have been looking at their white papers and different things like that, and I'm pretty excited about what they got going on. That somehow this sort of slipped under my radar, and so I'm excited about the interview that's coming up here in just a couple minutes.
Me too.
So the bad, and I'm going to preface this by saying we kind of had this same conversation last week, and it's exits from teams, and in this case, another exit from safemoon.
Yes.
I'm hoping that, yes, in most people's eyes, it's bad that another team member is stepping down, but at the same time, we're hoping there's good that comes out of this. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. But it does to some people, and I understand where this is coming from. It does seem to some people that there's a mass exodus. I think we just, at this point, you got to wait and see. You know, we have no information on it. We don't, none of the four of us have any inside information on it. But at the same time, we're just going to have to be patient, because one, we don't really have a choice, right? I mean, we just have to. But two, we're not going to get in the business of fudding something because it could seem bad, you know. Go ahead, Holly.
The thing is with you know, Gandalf leaving safemoon, number one, he never clarified whether he left on his own or if safemoon, you know, let him go. Another thing to take into consideration is the fact that he was part of the education team. They also have others that are still with the education team. We are in a bear market, and sometimes you have to let some go. That is just the name of the game. So for anybody to be worried about, you know, one person leaving, I would strongly suggest not to. Again, it happens all the time in almost every business, especially when you're in a market like ours that isn't bringing a whole lot of volume, you know, money's not coming in like it was back, you know, 2 years ago, whatever. But it's not, it doesn't mean that it's, it means SafeMoon's going under. It just means
Right.
they had to let go. Or he left on his own. I don't
Yeah.
think that's the case, honestly. I really don't. Or if it is, he might have found another job. Good grief.
Well-
We don't know. So jumping to conclusions on things when you actually don't know, it's not the best route ever.
And something we try to never do too. And also, I did see you put a poll out wanting to know how people learn better. Did you see that?
Yeah, I
Excuse
did.
me.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if he's not going to come out with his own sort of platform, or whether it be a podcast or something anyway. So it very
Sure.
well could have been that he decided to leave so he could pursue something different. I don't know.
It doesn't always have to be bad. I feel like I
No.
said that the last time. It doesn't always mean it's a bad, exit. So it doesn't make me feel any type of way. Gandalf, he clearly said he's going to be around in the community and all that good stuff. So it's not like he's gone.
And he has been too, and he already has been. So you're right. And so I didn't feel like that was in the good. Like I said, I preface it. We put it in the bad, but it doesn't necessarily have to stay there. Let's just put it that way. So, but we are not going to be the people that are going to speculate on that and why. But I also think it's a little funny that people would have instantly jumped to the conclusion that it's bad for him and it's bad for SafeMoon. It might end up being good for both of them for whatever reason. We don't have enough information. So we're just going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
So with that, we're done with the good, the bad, the ugly. No ugly this week. And we are going to get into, I'm going to call him Alex. We're going to talk to Alex. Because obviously I've already proven that I cannot say his name. So
it feels really weird for someone to call me Alex when I'm talking in crypto, but let's go with it.
Okay, that works. So do you want to take a second and just kind of introduce yourself and introduce the project that you're with?
Yeah, so I'm Alex Foliash, Foley. A lot of people will know me as that. And I'm the CEO of Ignite the Chain. We launched on Tuesday as a stealth fair launch with no private sale and no pre-sale, with 80% of the allocation going direct to public access. We kept 8% back vested for the team over a 12-month and a 5-month, depending on the amount of supply they were given. And we also kept back 12% for marketing and moving forward with different things. Now, we launched through our own platform called Ignite Dynamic Sale, and this allows us to allow projects to launch by adding just the tokens to liquidity without committing ETH or an alternative pair. And this means that you can set the price like you can do on a pre-sale or on a launch pad without having liquidity and raising. The difference is that you're allowing active price movement and price discovery at the same time, which means when you go live onto Uniswap, your price is more realized already. You're not going to be, you generally are getting within your range. Now, we only did this for an hour because this is quite a fast pre-sale that we really did on our platform. And then we migrated straight over to Uniswap just to continue the flow of what we're doing, because it's a brand new platform. We did only word of mouth and general letting people know it's coming. We didn't do a mass marketing campaign beforehand. And on our platform in the first hour, we hit $500,000 of volume just directly through our platform. And then within the 24-hour period, we've hit another 500,000 on Uniswap. So we've hit 1 million volume in the first 24 hours without any pre-marketing in there at all. A lot of people are excited about it, and we had a great AMA yesterday, as you said. You didn't manage to listen to it yet, but if you wanted to, guys, and you're listening to this right now, there is an AMA that we've had recorded also that's 30 minutes long that goes into things and a bit more information. So feel free to check that out. In terms of what we've got 3 main utilities. We've got the Ignite Dynamic Sale, which is live already, and that's what we launched on. We've got the Ignite deployer, which allows you to deploy and manage contracts without any technical experience at all. So there's a lot of deployers out there, but a lot of these deployers don't actually have the ability to then manage and understand. So you still have to manage your contracts, interact on block explorers like Etherscan, and there's a lot of complexities for new project owners to deploy something that's safe and robust and understandable for them too. A lot of problems in this space come down to smart contracts. So we do see there's an issue there. And then we're going to launch a full decentralized exchange, but that's going to be utilizing the information, that the concept and information that we get from the dynamic sale, and putting the same concept in place. So rather than migrating to Uniswap, you will literally start by setting your price and allowing your LP to raise through the sale itself, and ultimately the price action works very similar, if not identical, to Uniswap. As you can see, when we're migrated right now, you can see the liquidity ratio is pretty healthy. So yeah, that's a small insight into Ignite the Chain. We've been live since Tuesday. I've not had enough sleep yet, catching up a little bit over the last couple of days. But that's because I'm passionate, I'm excited, and there's a lot to do, and a lot of things that need to be done pretty quickly when the project gets started that you can't do before it gets started, and it's a requirement you do soon after. So that's why at the minute there's a little bit less sleep than I'd normally like, but that will change pretty quickly. And we've got a great team to support the project, and I'm super excited for all of them. I've known them all a long time, and they're great people. So I'm super excited for the future.
Yeah, I think you're right. I might be a little bit worried if anybody that actually launched a project got sleep. Like everyone we've ever talked to, like, I haven't slept at all. So if you came on here and said, "Oh, I've slept 14 hours a night," I'd be like, "Are you sure you're doing this right?" So I did want to ask you a quick question, though. I noticed, and it's a taxable tokenomic token, but I did notice when I was reading it, I was trying to find it, but there's a buy tax and a sell tax of 5%, but you can transfer it to wallets with no tax. Is that correct? Did I remember that correctly?
Yes, that's correct. So if you was to buy some supply, and for some reason you thought, you know what, just due to security, I want to have this much in this wallet, this much in this wallet, just to reduce risk of losing access to wallets, wallet hacks, and it all happens. And it's just looking after your own investment more. So there's no tax on transfers. There is a 5% buy and sell tax, and that's used for all forms of whatever's required at the time to help the project. So if that's marketing, if that's paying the team, if that's paying developers, if that's buying tokens off the market, all these different things, it's just a flexible budget that we'll have to allocate to certain things.
And also, when you guys first launched, is there a 10% tax in the first 24 hours, or is that when like you first buy?
So no, so we had our buy tax has always been 5%, okay. And when we launched, we actually had a higher sell tax for the very first minute. It dropped down very quickly for 20 minutes, so it went 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 on sell tax, and from there it stayed at 10 for 24 hours, and now it's at 5.5. And we did that because there was we did a lot of pre-sharing the project, and there's always opportunities who want to ruin it for people who are investing, and we don't want people to be heavily liquidated on a launch. So if we launched with 5.5, we would have a massive sell straight away, and a lot of people would have been liquidated, which from the marketing wallet or the company wallet, we can help resuscitate the chart if we had to. Now, we didn't have to do anything like that at launch. The price discovery worked really well, and people were buying up any sales that did happen. So it did show a lot of positive feelings towards the project, but we did that as a safety net, because the people who are going to be in quick and out quick, They're not here to help the project's long-term vision, and the people who are only going to get damaged by that are the people who believe in the project. So we didn't have a higher buy tax for that purpose, and it was only sell tax for the first 20 minutes higher, 24 hours a little bit higher than normal, and now it's down to normal. And if anybody's selling now, they're selling with 5% tax.
That's very smart. It sounds like you guys learned a lot from other launches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've watched a lot of launches. We've been, as a team, and we've been in the space a while. So, we've learned a lot from what to do, what not to do, and try to put all that together as best as possible. And you can never be perfect and make all the right decisions, but you can for sure learn from experience. And that's what we feel we did on this. We did as much preparation as possible, tested as much as possible, and we was ready to launch for about 24 to 48 hours before we actually launched. Everything was done, contracts deployed, the lot. We was ready. We wasn't messing around. But there was still that suspense that we're not live yet. We're going to have a lot of people going to our platform. How is it going to handle it? We've only simulated this types of volume. We've not had real people accessing, and we had, within an hour, we had about within the first about 20 minutes, we had about 200 holders, and this was a complete stealth launch. Nobody knew it was, knew it was coming, and it really, came up quite quickly. And the supply distribution starting to look really healthy as well now.
Yeah, and I was looking at your roadmap, and you're in phase 1, and it's built out to phase 4. There's a lot coming up. Do you have a time frame for phase 4, or is that just when it's ready, it's coming out?
I think we've got to be realistic, and setting time frames for something that's so far away is just not a great idea. I don't like the idea of promising something when things can move. If I'm going to say something, I want to make sure that I've already ensured that nothing could possibly go wrong. So, we got Twitter gold verified already, and for our project, we're only 2 days old there, and we did that, but we knew it was going to happen, but because it wasn't there yet, and I didn't want any hiccups, I just didn't say anything, because there's no point promising something, even if you've got it paid for and got it sorted, there's no point promising something before it happens. And there's also the element of buy the rumor, sell the news as well in crypto a lot. So if we start promoting that, we're going to end up getting people liquidated off pump and dump on price action. And again, it doesn't incentivize people to buy the project, but only the news. And that's not something that really, as a team, we're a fan of.
I can get behind that 100%.
Right. I'm just sitting here smiling, the biggest smile. I'm like, I just love this, because it's just the stealth. The stealth launch it's so smart, because then it gives you time, and you guys thought this through. I just love it. That's my favorite.
I mean, at this point, also, we've not done really any more marketing. This is a main bit of kind of communication we've had, really. Anybody that shared it off their own back. We've not been approaching people. It's been very much community working, networking, passing out to their friends. So we've got a decent amount of ways to push it further. We've not really had any exposure on crypto Twitter or crypto X, whatever you want to call it nowadays.
It's always going to be Twitter.
I think so too. I think so too, personally. But yeah, we've not really done much yet at the minute, but that's all going to be coming. So we wanted to make sure that the supply had been better distributed before we go much further, because again, it all comes down to liquidations and such like that. If we do too much too soon, things are going to go. There's going to be big buys and big sells, and we don't really want too much like that. We want it to grow nicely and smoothly, because this makes for a much more investable project in the long term, and that's exactly what we are.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now I don't feel as bad either, knowing that this kind of slipped under the radar or under my radar, at least, now that I know there wasn't a lot of promotion and a lot of hype, because that was one of the things where Holly came and said, hey, want to have them on the podcast, and I said to myself, I think I've heard of that, but why don't I know more about it? And
Yeah.
so that's what I was looking into. And, the other thing that you said too that makes a ton of sense to me is buying the hype. I'm a guy that never really buys the hype. I've never really been that guy. Maybe there's been times where I have, but it's always burned me because of what you're talking about. So what I love the fact that it is organic and that it is real and it's not people trying to pump and then dump, and because they don't care about your project at the end of the day. They just want to make money. And I've
Yeah.
seen some of these pump and dump scams ruin projects. And even the ones that it didn't completely ruin, they're still trying to pick up the pieces. Some of them are,
Yeah.
so kudos to you on that. I think that was a very well planned, well executed launch. So
Yep.
good job to you and your team for sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let me ask you this. What are you the most excited for? Let's just call it in the near future that you guys are going to release on maybe your roadmap, or maybe something that you can talk about. We never want to pin anybody to the wall and try to get inside information, but is there one thing that sooner than later that you are the most excited about for your project?
Yeah, there is. So there's a lot of exciting things on the roadmap, but the single most exciting thing, in my opinion, is the concept about repurposing dead liquidity. So there's a lot of projects that lock their LP for like thousands and thousands of years, or they burn their LP tokens to give their communities some, securities, shall we say, right? However, in crypto, most projects do die quickly. And as a result of that, these projects leave this liquidity behind when they die. There's a lot of total value locked liquidity that is just not being touched at all, down to this reason. And this is what we see as actually quite a bit of problem in this space, because for investors, it doesn't really help them anymore. Sometimes, especially on Ethereum, you get to a point where the value of your tokens is actually less than the gas it costs to sell your tokens, and you're like, well, what the hell with this? Why am I gonna sell now? I'm just gonna accept this as a loss, right? And you write them tokens off, you delete them from your quick access wallets, so you can't see them anymore because it upsets you every night when you look at your wallet balance. And you're at this point, you're like, you just like forget it and write it off. So what we're going to do so our exchange is going to function in a way where, because you don't need to add physical liquidity to the exchange in the first place, you set your price, all that liquidity that is added is in effect owned by the community, right? When they buy tokens, they're adding liquidity. When they sell tokens, they're taking it back. And that's how it works. The more they buy, the more they sell. That's exactly how it's going to work. Now, it will get to a point, though, where there's a similar concept, where somebody buys high, the token dies, and now the bag is worth not a lot, and it costs more gas than it is to sell them. So in that case, we're going to take, after 14 days of that project season trading, and when I say season trading, I mean no trading volume, unless the project owner calls a function to say, hey, I'm still alive, don't do this. We're actually going, their pool will be converted from an Ethereum pair to an Ignite pair, which means that their holders are automatically then holding Ignite just through a different token's name, which means as our price increases, the price of their dust tokens now increases. If our price decreases, ultimately so does their dust. But it was dust, they didn't care about it, they wrote it off, and it's there. This also benefits our holders, because when we convert that ETH that's in that pool that's dead liquidity to Ignite, it acts as a buyback on our chart, increasing the total amount of total value locked of Ignite, because chances are these people wrote these tokens off, they're still low value, they're not going to sell them when we convert them, so we are increasing the value of the Ignite token as a result.
That's interesting. So is anybody else doing that?
No.
So how did you guys think of that? Just brainstorm?
I like to, you know, when I think of things, I like to not look at what was already out there, because this is a problem with a lot of things. When people create something, they create something the same as something else. They're looking at examples of how it's done. They're not thinking, how would I have done this if it didn't exist? And that's the difference. You know, you gotta step back,
It's true.
and then rethink how this should be handled.
Yeah, that's a great idea and something I've never even thought of. The only thing I could even compare that to is when I would have some of these small amounts in Binance and they would let me just convert it to BNB, but that's not even the same thing of what you're talking about. So that's very interesting.
So I have Crypto Bros token. Yeah, I bought it because just the name. That was that project is done for. Like, but if you look at their chart, it's still there. And they have liquidity stuck in there. And so I have these tokens that literally mean nothing to me. I swipe them away. So if say, you know, they were somehow partnered with Ignite, I would be super happy to get Ignite tokens that has, or, you know, it's paired with Ignite, that I potentially could make some money back on something that is done.
Exactly, and that's done at no cost to you. So there's nothing that you need to do as an investor. There's no gas fees involved in that for you, because your token that you're holding doesn't change. The only thing that changes is a pool pair, and that's done without your involvement as an investor. And even if you didn't have, there's nothing different you have to do as an investor either, which means that when you come to sell, you just sell the same way. It doesn't make a difference. You're just selling an Ignite pair rather than an Eve pair.
Wow. That would have made the good list if I'd have known anything about that before this started.
That's the best
awesome
thing. That's the thing that I'm most excited about on our roadmap. It's not live yet, but there's so much on there that is exciting that I could literally spend the next 2 hours telling you the exciting bits.
Yeah, so I'm actually looking at for anybody that's seen me keep looking to my left, I'm actually looking at the roadmap, and there's a lot of stuff on there, except for, and this is, I don't know how much you've paid attention to our podcast, but there is some satire every once in a while here. I see in phase 3 something that's coming up that you guys are going to launch a podcast. So now we're going to be competitors.
Competitors or friends, you know, that's how I like to see it. We're in a
course.
And who knows, we might end up stealing one of you, and
Oh wow!
Don't steal Caleb. The food bill is expensive.
Right.
No, I say that in all jokingly, or just joking, because it is funny. I saw that, and we've had people ask us from other podcasts about being competitive and this and that. And honestly, what's happened to people that we've either been on their podcast or they've been on ours is we've just become like great friends.
Yeah.
Because we completely understand what each other is going through. And so it's like a friendship, but it's like next level, because you could talk about things that nobody else would have any clue about what you're talking about. So no, I wish you the best of luck in that, honestly. And you know, we say this to people all the time, but when you get to that part, if there's anything we can do for you guys, just reach out. We're open books, and like we said, it's not just the tokens, it's not just the projects, it's anybody trying to create on this space, whether it's a podcast or whatever that is. We want everyone to succeed. So if we can help you with that, just reach out. And we would be more than happy to.
Amazing. That's what I believe too. I believe that it's all about helping each other make this space a better place. And it's very cliche to say that, because everyone's like, oh, you know what? We just need to clean the space up. But the more that's done to make it better, the more that adoption can happen over time. And it's not about, oh, is it a bear market? Is it a bull market? Because that's going to happen all the time, just like stocks and shares, just like financial markets in general. It's to me, it's more about how, we care about it. And if enough people care, the adoption would just continue to grow over the months, years, decades to come.
Yeah.
Agreed with you. You said something that just sparked a thought in my brain when you're talking about bear markets and bull markets. Is it not weird how everybody talks about how this next bull market, and I believe it'll happen at some point, right? But people don't ever talk about it ending. Like the next bull run is supposed to happen forever. Is that not weird? It's like, no, you do realize at some point there's going to be another bear market. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
But people don't look at it that way. They're like, oh, once the bull market's here, I'm set. I'm good to go. I'll just hold forever.
Everything's gonna be honky-dory for literally ever.
Forever.
So I saw something which was posted about this, and it was like, as soon as you start seeing the pictures of Lamborghinis come out, that's when you know the bull market's ending.
Start selling.
Yeah.
Not financial advice.
Yeah.
No, I see that all the time because people they talk about that as, well, I'll just hold my bags forever because the bull market's going to come and I'll have all this money. But if you don't do something with it, eventually the bear market's going to come back. Now, the hope would be when that happens, it doesn't get as low as it is, say, now, and so it continually stair steps up. But it's not going to just be a straight line forever. It's going to teeter and come back and down and around. So when you said that just kind of cracked me up a little bit because I just had that conversation with somebody in real life that I don't think they understood that. I really think they thought the bear market was going to be forever. It's like, no, if you paid attention to any financial institutions whatsoever, that's not the case. So we want to get into who you are, and we're going to do that, especially through like Caleb's Choice and things like that. Is there anything else that you want to share that we haven't touched on? We only have so much time. There's a ton of different things I could ask you, but I want to give you the opportunity to talk about something maybe we haven't touched on yet.
Not really, to be honest, because there is so much, and just picking something that's more relevant than anything else is just so difficult. So, there's a lot that could interest people. So I just encourage, checking it out, the website, the roadmap, following our Twitter account. And if you've got Telegram, join us on Telegram in the community. That's where our community is based. So if you wanted to ask any questions, that's where you get any answers. There's teams there around the clock to help out and answer any questions that you may have as an investor or a project owner.
Yeah, and I even noticed on your website there was easy ways to contact people for help and things like that. It seems like it's definitely something we're going to look into even more than what we had so far. But I just appreciate you being open and honest with us as we get through the interview. And I'm going to thank you for coming on now, even though you're not leaving us, just in case it gets a little bit rowdier and maybe you don't like us as much by the end of this as you do right now. So
it takes a lot to put me off people, so I think you're pretty safe.
Well, we don't have a taste test today, so
Challenge accepted.
I know.
You're probably safe.
Do your worst.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had the opportunity to watch when Blair came on, but we made him do the one chip challenge with us, and he's still our friend. I'm not sure why, but because we all suffered that day. But you're going to get to skip out on that part. So, but before we
Maybe
get to that, yeah, maybe next time we'll get you on there. But you're going to have video when we do it.
No worries.
Yes.
So, how about before we get to that, Holly, we'll let you do your holativity, and then we'll get into asking us some more questions.
All right. All right. So today's holativity is brought to you by Frizz. I'm not sure if you guys know who he is, but I'm not 100% sure if he's part of the Vitris team or if he is a supporter of Vitris. However, he posted the other day, "Good morning, men and women. Before us waits another day filled with possibilities and opportunities. A critical component to your success is having the right attitude. Seize the day."
Nice.
Yeah, I was looking for you as you were doing that, and I'm not 100% sure either, but he is following us and we are following him, and I don't. I remember the tweet, but if we were still doing the guessing game, I probably still wouldn't have won. So.
Good. No, I just ran across his, and a lot of his stuff that he posts is very, very great to like just kind of scroll through, and I'm trying to branch out and get different people from different projects with their positivity because there's so many out there, and so I chose this one because we should seize the day every day, and it was just my favorite this week. So thank you. However, I am going to reach out to him after this podcast because I'm telling you, this week has been and I didn't get a chance to. So I'll just have to be like, by the way, I kind of used you, your tweet. Yeah, but I'm sure he's going to be. Everybody so far has been super appreciative of being highlighted on Holotivity, and so I feel like today was his day.
Awesome.
Yeah, and see, we only get so many days, right? So we have to take control of every single one of them. And I will tell you, I did find he is a community moderator. It looks like for Vitreous. So, and no, good job. Round of applause.
Yeah.
All right, Caleb, you're up.
It's time for Caleb's choice.
His choice.
His rules.
You were way off.
Yeah, I really was.
All right, I got a crazy story to tell you, and I just want to see your guys' reaction. How you guys would handle it if it happened to you. So a couple weeks ago, a lady was mowing her backyard, which was like a 3-acre lot, and she's listening to music and just mowing. And out of the sky, a snake falls, lands on her arm, wraps around her arm, and starts biting her. She's freaking out and just mowing all over her pasture. And then about 30 seconds later, a hawk comes down and starts attacking her arm and shreds her arm to pieces. Finally gets the snake and flies off with it. So he was flying over the top of her and dropped the snake. It landed on this lady, and she had a heck of an adventure. What would you guys say if that happened to you?
Is this on video, Caleb?
What?
No, it's not on video. It happened in Texas 2 weeks ago.
This is real.
This is really.
Oh yeah,
I thought that was just made up.
It happened like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I heard about this, but I tried to find it on video and I never could find it, so I didn't know if there was video or not.
And she had to go to the hospital and get stitches.
Like what?
Holly, what would you do in that situation?
I would die. Like right then. I mean, the snake alone would kill me. Like croak over.
Heart
I'm done.
attack.
I would. I think I really would have a heart attack because just the thought of that scares the living out of me. And so, if it actually happened, I mean, I wouldn't even know about the hawk coming down and biting.
Already be dead.
Yeah. No.
You know what I think would happen to me is I'd get run over by the tractor. Because that snake landed on my arm, and even if I had enough fortitude to be like, what's going on? And I'm sure I'm going to forget to take the tractor out of gear. And for those people that don't know, at least the older style tractors, if it's in gear, it's going to continue to roll because of the torque that it has, and it runs at such low gear ratios. Even if I was able to like keep my composure with the snake, as soon as that hawk came down after that snake, I'm jumping off that tractor, and I'm pretty sure I don't die by snake or tractor or snake or hawk. It's the tractor that would run over me. I would guarantee it. What about you, Greg?
Oh, Greg.
The snake might freak me out at first, but once I realized what it was and what was going on, I'd probably just grab it and try to maybe keep it as a pet. I don't know. I wouldn't freak out after the first couple seconds.
So that's
Yeah, I mean, I got a python at home, so, and I've been bit by it several times, so I'm good.
wouldn't stunned at the fact that it just flew out from the sky.
I don't know, that would freak me out. I'd be like, what the heck's that? But once I realized it was a snake, and if it wasn't poisonous, I'd be all right. I'd calm down.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but you have, by the time your brain realized that, now a hawk is attacking you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that would totally throw everything off.
Need to change
What
of
about
pants.
you, Chloe? What would you do if this happened to you?
Well, to be honest with you, in the UK we don't really have wild snakes really or anything like that. So when I see a snake, I'm seeing a snake in like a zoo or a farm or something like that in captivity to a degree, right? So actually having a snake come out of the sky and land on my arm, I'm gonna freak the hell out. I don't know what I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll probably be shouting at my mum or something. The hawk, don't get me started. I don't even want to think. I don't know. I just too much.
It's a lot, that's for sure. Caleb, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Just flex and they just all fall away from you and leave you alone? Just like
I like what you're saying. I'd probably kind of be shocked and like jump off the tractor, to be honest. I remember when I was a kid, I was running through a field and stepped on a snake, and I wrapped up around my foot, and I think I jumped like 7 feet in the air.
yeah.
It just kind of, it's that shock of just like, what the? And you just move
What
on. So I'd probably fall off the tractor.
It.
It's a big black snake,
Oh, no.
like a 7-foot black snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're feisty too.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they can't hurt. They'll bite you, but they're
Nice.
not venomous, but they get pretty big. They usually eat mice and rabbits and things like that.
Did it bite you, Caleb? Did you say it bit you?
I stepped right on his middle, and he just kind of like wrapped around my foot, kind of just as a reflex. I was like the kangaroo.
Yeah.
Get back to Foley on why doesn't the UK have snakes? You guys don't have like wild snakes in the forest or anything like that?
I mean, it's rare. Like I've never encountered a snake in the wild. Like never. I mean, there might be some in the forests and such, but it's not many, if any. Like maybe someone's going to comment on this and say you're totally wrong. One fell out of the sky yesterday. I'm telling you right now, that's not going to happen. I don't encounter snakes, and if you said a black snake, a blue snake, a green snake, I wouldn't know the difference, right? I wouldn't be thinking, I would not know a poisonous snake from a non-poisonous snake. We just don't see them.
Wow, I didn't know that. I think I need to move to the UK.
Oh.
No, you don't. You don't.
We have rattlesnakes here, and they're like diamondback rattlesnakes, poisonous, will kill you, and we have them everywhere where I am. So,
See, the weird thing
Yeah,
about
that's
that,
bad.
Holly, is your snakes give you warnings with like their rattles.
yeah,
We have copperheads that just camouflage themselves so that if you step near them, they'll just bite you, and they're poisonous also.
absolutely not. Like,
Yeah.
You got bit by one.
I mean, but you know, Arizona's very, very known for the Diamondbacks, which we have a baseball team named after these stupid things. So,
Yeah, no, it's kind of weird how nature is with that, but I don't mind snakes. I hate to be surprised by them. I don't
No.
want to walk up on one like Caleb did. Like that's not happening.
All right, second question. With the weather being so hot, would you prefer to live in an area that's 102 or an area that's 32 degrees?
32.
Year-round.
32.
So basically, would you rather be hot or cold?
hot.
Yeah, Holly's gonna say 102 is not hot.
Oh, like, what? 32
Yeah.
degrees forever? Pass. That's too cold. That's freezing.
Yeah.
I think
No.
32 is nice.
Greg.
Yeah. They get below that. Yeah.
Yeah, I picked 32.
Oh,
No, I'm going with Holly. 100%. I'm going with Holly because I had to convert it first. From Fahrenheit to Celsius, obviously.
Sure, yeah.
And I didn't know what it was, but 38.8. That's like a holiday temperature. That's like what I want. I want to go to a nice place for a holiday. I went to Florida, and that's type of heat that we was talking probably maybe a bit hotter at times. We went in the peak. We went Disney and Universal last year. And yeah, that's actually, I also saw snake signs around when we went down to the there was like warning snakes. So I never seen one of them in my life before then, and it just reminded me. But no, 38 Celsius, 39 Celsius all day. You know, give me a suntan. Don't give me frostbite.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, but I can put more clothes on. I can't take enough off when it's too hot. Not legally.
True. I agree.
No,
Oh, at the start, didn't you turn the aircon off? You know, you can cool yourself down with other means.
Yeah, but what if you got to be outside? I
don't
still
know.
can't get.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
like the
Okay.
ponds and the water sources around here are like bath water right now. It's so hot. Yeah.
go 30 plus days of temperature at 110. And
No.
then go to 102, and I promise it'll feel lovely. Like, it'll
Well,
be.
True.
we were talking about that the other day. It's like, that's all of a sudden it's 91 degrees and we're all like, oh, it's nice out. But if it was April where the temperatures were around 60 all the time and
Right.
then one day was 91, we'd all die. So you do get used to it to a certain degree at least.
You do.
To a certain
What about
degree.
you? Didn't answer.
Yeah, Greg said 32.
No, Caleb.
I said 32
Oh.
also.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bros they're from. No,
It's
they're from
unanimous.
Missouri, Alex. Don't listen.
Wow.
But we're also like pyros. We love to make fire, so
That's true.
you can make fire when it's hot, but you
Mhm.
can warm up next to a fire outside if it's 32 degrees.
All right, next question. I don't agree.
Agree to disagree.
Yes.
All right. This is what are the top 4 cities? Okay, I messed that up already. Okay, what are the largest cities in the United States that start with the letter O? What's your guess?
The top 4
The
cities in the United States are
Start
biggest
with-
cities that start letter O.
Yeah.
I can't name 4 to start with, so can I
I
pass?
Cities?
Oklahoma
Oakland.
City?
Oakland.
Okay. Oakland is 3rd. Oklahoma's 1st.
Oklahoma City's first.
What's that?
Oklahoma City's first.
Oklahoma City's 1st with almost 700,000.
Yeah, I win. I'm done.
I'm
Oakland
done.
has 422,000.
Oakland.
Oakland's 422, but they're 3rd.
I thought Oakland would be bigger than that, to be honest with you.
That's what I thought too.
How many cities that start with an O? I mean, other than
Orlando.
Yeah.
Orlando.
there you go.
That's 4th. That's 312,000.
So number 2, is it well known? And we're just not thinking of it?
The bros know where it's at. We've all probably been to the zoo.
Omaha.
Oh, Omaha.
Omaha,
Yep,
Nebraska.
Omaha. Okay.
Omaha, Nebraska.
It's 479,000.
Hard one for me.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised we got all 4.
Yeah.
Actually, the one I wouldn't have got if I was doing this by myself is I would have never thought about Orlando. I never would have thought of it.
Either.
I thought Oakland was number 1, to be honest. But
Yeah, I would have thought so too, and I didn't realize Omaha was bigger than Oakland or Orlando.
yeah.
How many did you say Oklahoma City has?
697,000.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Omaha just is one of those places that just keeps growing. Like it's bigger and bigger every time we end up going there.
That zoo is nice.
Yeah.
I haven't been there. I think I need to go.
You should
Eh,
Let's go to the
visit
zoo.
the zoo.
I
No,
wouldn't wait. I wouldn't waste a trip.
Bucket list is every state, so I've got to do something in Nebraska.
Oh well, if you have to go to
probably it.
Nebraska, yeah, you're going to Omaha.
That's it. That's all
You
there
could
is.
go to Lincoln
Cornfields.
and watch Nebraska play football. Maybe
Oh, that-
Arizona would go up there.
Yeah. I'm going to Mississippi in 2 weeks?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna be humid.
On the 8th. Yeah. Well, Mississippi State, U of A plays Mississippi State over there, and so I'm like, okay,
Wow.
why not?
That'll be fun.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
good luck. I will root for Arizona for you this year, Holly.
Thank you.
Unless they happen to play Mizzou.
That's
One-
next year.
One day soon. Yeah, we're gonna be.
Yeah. We'll,
Nope.
we'll see. With the way
Wait, no,
everything's
I'm sorry.
changing, you never know.
They're in the SEC now, aren't they? They're out in the Big 12. Never mind.
Big 12. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Big Ten that has 18 teams.
18 teams now. So are they gonna call the Big 18?
I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, let's let the dust settle. I have no idea.
Yeah. All right, my turn.
Yeah, what's your question, Ollie?
All right. You ready? If you could have any fictional character as a coworker, who would it be and why?
Fictional character as a coworker.
Yep.
Batman.
Be fun.
You mean Batman?
Because-
Batman's not real?
All
Oh,
right,
man.
Right? He would do the things I don't want everybody, that I wouldn't want to do and everybody to know it.
Yeah.
Vigilante.
Not that
Dirty
you
work.
don't want to do it. You just don't want everybody to know that you want to do it. Is that what you just said?
Bingo. Let's talk about the night shift.
Who's yours, Holly?
Mine is Tinkerbell.
I would have guessed that.
Yep. I think it would be fun. And then she could put pixie dust on me and I can fly. You know, it would be amazing.
Hmm. I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Alex.
I'm thinking I'm thinking between two people, right? And I'm thinking more from a comical point of view because if I got a coworker, I want to sit there having a laugh, right? So I'm either wanting, I'm not sure if you guys will know this one, Mr. Bean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Bean.
Perfect.
That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
It'll be you just laugh all day. You will not stop laughing. And the other one is like Stewie Griffin from Family Guy.
Okay.
Yeah, because again, you're just gonna laugh your head off all day. You're gonna have. It's gonna be- you wouldn't, but who says? It wasn't about being efficient this time. It was about who would you pick. And I want a great time when I work. I want to have a laugh, and you know, maybe I can calm them both down a little bit.
I think that's a great answer.
I could get down with Mr. Bean.
Them actually. Mr. Bean is hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Caleb, did you figure out one yet?
I don't know how much fun it would be. I was when you first asked that question, Lloyd Christmas popped in my head,
Oh wow.
but I don't think that'd be very fun.
It would get annoying pretty fast, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know if I went to opposite of fun and just to get efficient and get the work done as fast as possible. So I was thinking Superman because I'm just gonna let him do all the work because he can do it super fast, and then we'll play video games or whatever the rest of the day, which I'm sure
There
he'd
you go.
stomp me
I
at.
hear
But
ya. That's a good choice.
That is a good choice. I didn't think about like getting my work done. I just thought about having fun with my character.
so yeah, I don't enjoy work, and I hate having things hanging over my head. So the faster I can get it done, the more the happier I'm gonna be.
All
So
those boxes being checked.
yep, check the boxes.
There you go.
Done. Next
Yeah.
box, go. Let's get it done.
Sweet.
All right. Well, Greg, you ready to share Cryptic Corner with us this week?
So excited.
Yeah, ready.
I always want to see what he comes up with. Like, what's gonna be?
We could play a game where we guess before he does it, but then I think he'd just change it.
First of all,
Yeah.
we haven't addressed the elephant in the room.
Literally the elephant in the room. I was going to address this a
Got
while.
his crypto shirt on, crypto bro shirt on.
Stop. That's cute.
But it's giant.
3 foot tall.
Yeah. Well, it's like as tall as I am. I mean, it's I am for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it so giant? Where did you get this elephant?
I was in my daughter's room.
Ah.
She's off in college, so I brought it down here.
Aww.
All right.
Already.
Well, today we're gonna be talking about the secret societies that control the world.
Ooh.
Yeah. So take the
You talking about
Illuminati.
yourself?
What's Maybe. We don't know. Peru, perhaps. So take the Illuminati, a sect said to have originated in 18th century Germany, and which is allegedly responsible for the pyramid and eye symbol adorning the $1 bill. They intend to foment world wars to strengthen the argument for the creation of a worldwide government, which of course would be satanic in nature. Or consider the Freemasons, who tout their group as the oldest and largest worldwide fraternity and boast alumni like George Washington. Some think that despite donating heaps of cash to charity, they're secretly plotting your undoing at Masonic temples across the world. Or maybe some theorize the guys pulling the strings aren't concealed in the shadow at all. They might be the ones in the Council of Foreign Relations, a cadre of policy wonks who allegedly count their aims as publishing an erudite bi-monthly journal and establishing a unified world government. Not necessarily in that order, but it's all a plot. And that's from Time Magazine.
Really?
What year?
You know what? I think it was 2019.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well,
so-
there's a lot of people believe that's what NATO is.
NATO?
Yeah.
Well, did you hear what's happening with NATO?
No.
They're gearing up because of the BRICS nations. Like they're
Oh.
like gearing up to try to stop the BRICS nations.
You know, along with that conspiracy theory, Greg, I heard one the other day that said all the military equipment that we left in Afghanistan, we didn't actually leave it there, that we gave it to NATO.
You know what? Yep, I agree with that 100%.
That's scary, though, because even at some level, who controls NATO?
I might have just listed it.
Maybe, but what I was getting at is we don't really know.
Illuminati?
We don't really know who's in charge of NATO, but they can pretty much walk into any country they want and do inspections and sanctions, and now they have military. I mean, they've always somewhat had a military, but if they got our stuff, they have pretty good stuff now. That's a little scary.
Right.
That is very.
Yeah.
These ones, I'm so intrigued by these, but it also is like, oh crap.
It scares you, yeah.
Yeah.
The big event. It's gearing up.
So, Greg, who do you think is controlling everything behind the scenes?
Well, you got the Illuminati, which supposedly everybody thinks that's the top secret society, but I think there's another one called the Brotherhood of Nine that nobody ever hears about. And hopefully you'll see me next week. So I think everything's compartmentalized. Every tier doesn't know what the top tier is doing. They just follow orders. But
so you're going to name who the Brotherhood of Nine is?
I don't have a clue.
Oh.
No, I wouldn't even try.
Go any further.
You don't have a guess?
Maybe, but I don't want to.
You can't say it.
He really wants to kind of sort of come back next week?
Yeah, kind of. So.
Yeah. What about you, Foley? What do you think about conspiracy theories?
Well, I tend to just take things for the face of them. And I mean, sometimes you question how people are making certain decisions. It doesn't seem rational. It seems like somebody behind the scenes is pulling strings. But at the same time, I find it hard to believe some of these things can seem quite far-fetched. So, to think that there's people pulling strings all the time, I think sometimes people just make random decisions and it doesn't make sense. And the most logical public explanation is somebody's controlling what they're doing, but actually that person's just a person, and sometimes the decisions they make just don't seem to make sense.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just suck at their job.
Yeah. Touche, yeah. Well, yeah, well, sometimes where's the best place to hide stuff?
In plain sight.
In plain sight.
It's true.
In the movies.
Ask my wife. Anytime I can't find anything, it's usually in plain sight.
That's right.
The same here. It's on the side.
It's right next to your bed on your nightstand. How did you not see it? Oh, okay. Well, I was looking everywhere else but there. Well, Foley, I do want to say thank you for coming on as we wrap this up. We do appreciate you being on. I think that you gave some great insight, and I think you represented your project very well. Give yourself a round of applause when you get done here, and have a cold one and enjoy, and try to get some sleep. But we wish you the best of luck, man. We really do.
No, thank you. It's midnight here right now, actually. So we're cracking on a little bit with time, but no, it's no problem at all. I had a nap earlier in the day, actually, for a few hours, just to catch up on sleep, because it's important. You can't function without sleep. And like I said, we've got guys looking after the thing, keeping everything all in order. It's hectic early on. So like you said at the start, who doesn't say they didn't get much sleep when a project started? That's what happens. You start something up, and there's a lot to do. I noticed at the end there, you said Foley, and you said it right. So
I know I did. I was going to give one more shot.
Give yourself a round of applause for that as well.
I was going to give it one more shot, and I figured if I messed it up, I couldn't hurt your feelings any much more. We were going to be signing off anyways. So, no, I do appreciate you. We are rooting for you. And we spent a lot of time in research and a lot of time behind the scenes looking at things. And I think you guys are onto something here. I really do. I think that you're going to be one we'll be talking about for many, many years down the road. So congratulations, man.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for having us as well. Really appreciate being on here today. Being great to get to know all of you. And yeah, thanks for inviting us on, Holly.
Yeah, anytime. You're welcome anytime you want.
Perfect.
With that being said, guys, have a great weekend and God bless.
Bye, Ely. Be kind.
I'm Caleb. Please like and subscribe.